You see it now?
We're on.
We're on. Okay.
We're on.
Welcome to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. My name is Tom Douglas.
I'm Loretta Douglas.
And let's just do that again. You guys just kind of wake up this morning. I know it's early.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually I'll be the
Loretta
party
is
motivator
the audience
over here,
motivator.
so if you see me start clapping, I'm not just applauding myself. So that's nice too.
Welcome to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. Thank you for tuning in this week. We have a lively audience, don't we, audience? Yes, lively audience. A little bit earlier start this Thursday than what we normally do, so we're intravenously giving them coffee.
It's coming soon.
Got to
Coming
perk everybody up.
Yep. Loretta's my daughter, chief legal counsel for our company, and is also the mom of my 3 grandchildren,
Wow.
Hercules, Adonis, and Athena.
On company property.
And we're still mourning our good friend, Chef Thierry Rautureau. We have a new segment that we're starting today, kind of working out of his book a little bit. We're going to do this at least for a year. And there's so many recipes in the book, but a new segment today starts, which is Simple to Spectacular. It was one of Terry's favorite segments on our show because I am a simple cook and he is a spectacular cook. And I
love some zhuzh.
Yeah, he
Yes.
does. I think that's the perfect way to put it. He loves some zhuzh, and he could never let a recipe just be. Whereas, for somebody like me, I just love a wood-fired roast duck. It's like as crazy as I get. I'll put a shallot or some herbs in the middle, and and I'll crispen the skin. And Terry would, he would do duck
Harissa.
reductions and all sorts of
Each
little.
spectacular in their own right. Just
No. That's the point.
Different,
That's the
yeah.
point is how do we take regular recipes and make them spectacular? And that's going to be our Chef Terry segment coming up later in the show. Chefs Theo Martin and Rolando Aquino are here from the Island Soul in Seattle. And is this the interview we did with them a few weeks back?
Yes,
Yeah, good.
yes.
I wanted to hear that because I thought they had so much to say,
They
and
have
they were
so
so
much,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing about that. We catered the opening, Becky. I don't know if you know this or not, but this a couple days ago, we catered the opening of the SIFF Cinerama.
I am so excited about
so
that.
exciting that
How
it's
about
back.
that, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Willy Wonka was the night, and all the SIFF board members
Oh.
were there, and we were up on the 40th floor of the building next to the Cinerama, and Eric and myself and Sean and Jackie were all up there pumping. I can't even remember the names because I'm not a Willy Wonka
Yeah.
person, but we made all of our appetizers with the names from different parts of the show.
Exciting.
It's exciting. So I guess the point of that being is we're going to talk about that a bit. We've got someone from SIFF here and talk about how it revitalizes some of the restaurants in the neighborhood, or at least continues the revitalization of downtown. And looking forward to that with Madison Zimmerman. Mike Tier is here, our good buddy, Pam's husband. You remember our old producer, Pam? I don't mean like old producer. I mean our former
The
producer.
fabulous
She's
producer.
gonna take
Former
you down.
producer Pam, who went off to save the world down at the Pike Place Market Senior Center and Food Bank, and she's doing just that, by the way.
Absolutely.
She's doing great work down there. We did the figgy pudding last week, and crazy. Anyway, Mike's here from Pike and Western Wine Shop. He's going to help us elevate our holiday meals with affordable wines, and we're going to have get an inspired. Sean, can you fix that for me? We're going to get an inspired holiday dinner menu rocking and rolling right here at the Hot Stove Society show. Becky, you've done the questions for the Tasty Trivia, I trust.
I have.
Who's going to win today? You
We'll
seem to
find
know
out.
before we
I
start.
don't know. Might be a curveball in there.
Might be a curveball
Oh,
today.
now I'm
Looking forward
nervous.
to that. All right, taste of the week. You want me to go first, or do you want to go?
I know mine.
Okay,
I
what
think we
is-
both have sweets this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yours
mine.
is probably homemade and mine is from a store. So
What a shocker.
yeah.
Jackie's been doing some of her favorite things, which is holiday baking the last few days. And I look forward to her fruitcake bars. I
They're
feel like I'm the only
so
person in
good.
the world that loves fruitcake. But if you don't love fruitcake, what you really don't love is that old kind of Lions Club fruitcake that helped the blind, that they come to the door and sell it. It was made a year ago, and it's
And
just
it's
like
gummy,
a block of
or
gum,
hard. It's
yeah.
just not. Yeah.
her fruitcake
Oh
bars.
my God, they're so good.
I'll tell a secret. They were inspired by Martha Stewart,
Really?
of all people. Yeah. Her fruitcake bars are light and airy. Matter of fact, they were so light and airy that I said you have to put, yesterday this was, a little syrup. And I suggested bourbon, Cointreau, and a little simple syrup because they were
Okay.
just a little bit too dry.
Not
yesterday.
quite dense enough.
It's funny. She's made these for 20 years.
Yeah.
And
I know she called me quite distressed yesterday
She
that
said,
her
"What
fruitcake
happened?"
bars had
Yeah.
not turned out exactly how they do the
I
last
think-
20 years.
I think that's a common issue with baking. Sometimes it's like, what happened? I've made these a million times and blah, blah, blah. So you just never know. Did you cream the butter differently? Did you not put as much syrup in there? Or was your
Temperature
fruit
different.
was your
Yeah.
fruit drier this time when it started than it was the last time when you had really luscious dried fruits? So
Yeah.
you just never know what the deal is. But she was a little bit distraught. Fix it with that syrup.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
I can't wait to eat
And
them.
the other good thing about them is they last for months in the fridge. So I don't feel like I have to eat them all in one day.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of those, like, I think if you're putting together a holiday cookie box or something like that, like they're a perfect one to make in advance because they really do hold up perfectly in the fridge. And so you're not trying to bake everything off on the same day when you're about to give out your cookie boxes and things. So.
Yeah, I agree. The recipe is in the Dahlia Bakery cookbook. And Becky, if you would, maybe you could post it on our website.
Sounds good.
We can get that into the website. And you too can make Jackie's holiday fruitcake bars with dried cherries and brandy for your holiday Christmas
Please
box.
do. They're going to be
Cookie
better
box.
probably than my taste of the week, but there's this little cookie and it comes out every holiday and it's by the brand Rustic.
Let me guess. Little Debbie.
No, I have never had a Little Debbie, so
Oh, I think you have.
I don't think I have.
Okay, go ahead.
Failed in my upbringing. They're by the brand Rustic Bakery, and they make a lot of different. They make some delicious sourdough crackers
Yeah.
and things like that we always buy for cheese trays. But they're the gingerbread tiles, and they're a little crispy and a little soft, and they're just like these iced gingerbread cookies. And I dip them in my tea in the morning, and they make me feel like it's the holiday season every morning.
That
So,
bakery is so good.
it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
think
a
their
national
products are
brand.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the gingerbread tiles, if you hadn't had them, they're more of a breakfast thing for me than a dessert,
Yeah.
but they're delicious. And
The
they're-
same one, the same kind of thing is from Effie's Homemade.
yeah,
They make a ginger biscuit
Oh, do
also,
they?
which is super good.
It's
Candied ginger
buttery.
in it.
It's really buttery.
Yeah,
but I
real
love
buttery.
that.
Yeah. But anyway,
I
so
love
that's-
that flavor. And I think it's a really good version of that if you're just want to grab something from the store.
So it's called Rustic Bakery. They've got nice
Gingerbread tiles,
packaging.
yeah.
You'll find them in all the fancy groceries.
I think they have them at QFC too, if you're local. So
All right, so here we go. Shout out to audience member Barry McDonald, who was here last week and we forgot to wish him happy birthday.
He had such a great time. They emailed and said it was far exceeded their expectations.
I'm
Oh, love
glad. Well,
that.
happy birthday, Barry. Thanks for coming to join us. She bought him the tickets to the show as a surprise
Yep.
for his birthday and said that they had a really good time. I'm glad he survived. At our age, you just never know. We have a KitchenAid giveaway drawing for our live audience today. If anyone in the audience is looking forward to a mixer, we've got one to give away today on Kybra Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
I had tea in my hand. I couldn't clap.
That's perfect to jump in like that.
Okay, good.
Or you could even just say it yourself, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Madison, yep, right up here.
Hi, Madison.
Oh, I can sit. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Super awesome.
Good, good. Hey, how's it going? Good. Nice
Oh
to meet
my God. Does it not match your decor?
I don't get to play.
You have to check in the.
It's
the
red.
Galleria.
It's red. Okay.
Don't worry, I was eyeing it up the other day.
Uh-huh. I just traded mine out after 27 years. It was getting a little ball bearing issue. You excited?
So excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big day.
All right, we're back in the kitchen here at the Hot Stove Society in the beautiful Hotel Andra, downtown Seattle. Thank you for joining us. If you ever want to come, you can get tickets at hotstovesociety.com and buy tickets to our show. I think all of our shows are posted
About a month in advance.
about a month in advance. Yep. So good
January's
Christmas.
up now.
Good Christmas present.
Yeah.
Huh? Madison Zimmerman has taken a chair in front of the microphone. She's the Associate Director of Marketing for Seattle International Film Festival, or SIFF. And we've been seeing your posters and your brands wrapped all over the Cinerama. Well, the old Cinerama.
Right.
It's going to be hard to get rid of that, isn't it?
It is.
Can't
yeah.
you just call it the SIFF Cinerama?
You know, it was tempting. We
Yeah.
had to lose the name, which was sad.
Because
a
you
little bit, yeah.
lost the screen, right? The big round screen, didn't you?
The screen is still there, so the
Oh.
technology is still there.
Okay.
It's the same really theater experience you know and love. We just had to lose the name,
Oh.
unfortunately, due
Yeah.
to licensing, which was a
Yeah.
little sad. So it's SIFF Cinema downtown now,
Okay.
but the Cinerama experience is still alive and well.
And if you don't know where it is, it's right at the corner of 4th and Lenora.
Yeah.
And I remember, I mean, I'm a little bit older than you, not by much, but I remember
I didn't mean
Not
to laugh
true.
so loud there.
watching the lines waiting for Star Wars to open at Cinerama
Yes.
in that parking lot that was behind, which is now a 25-story building.
Right.
I was
Uh,
in that line.
But you were in that
I was
line
in
too?
that line.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, everyone has such incredible stories from that
Yep.
space. It's
Uh-huh.
been
Oh,
so
man.
much fun the last few weeks, like talking to people. Everyone has a
When
Cinerama
it first
story.
opened and those first big movies, I mean, lines for days
it
and
was
around
crazy.
the corner. It was awesome.
We had the opening of Star Wars over at the Palace Ballroom, and a lot of the characters were there, you know, and I remember getting the picture for Bill Gates with the big furry dude.
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca, yeah. Bill Gates and Chewbacca. There
Yeah.
you go. It was-
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
A dynamic duo, my favorite. Yeah.
So tell us about how this all came about and what your plans are. And we're so excited. We saw you at the party the other night
Yes.
for the showing of Wonka to your team, right?
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you for that, by the
Mhm,
way.
mhm.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, so the Cinerama closed in early 2020. It was previously owned by a Vulcan and the Paul Allen estate. And when it closed in 2020, it was being closed indefinitely, which
Right.
was really heartbreaking for film lovers, but also just Seattle in general. This is like a really
And-
iconic space. It's been here for 60 years this year.
Yeah. And the restaurant neighbors, I'll say.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like a really important part of this area in terms of vitalization. And yeah, when our executive director, Tom Mara, started at SIFF about a year and a half ago, he tells a story that he sat down, he met the staff, he saw the office, and about 15 minutes in, he sat down and someone was like, so what are we doing about Cinerama? So this has been on SIFF's mind for really the last 4 years since it closed. We were able to make this acquisition happen earlier this year, and it's been a labor of love. We're very excited to have the doors to this theater open again. We are starting with Wonka, which just feels very joyous and such a holiday treat. And the local restaurants have been incredible partnering. So I know a couple of the restaurants here are going to be doing some specials for Wonka, Palace Kitchen, Serious Pie.
You bet.
We're so excited about that.
And the Dahlia Bakery doing a Violet Burst Blueberry Dome.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm most excited for. I think after a movie this weekend, I'm just going to do a tour of all the specials. That
Uh-huh.
seems like the trick. But yeah, the theater opens tonight. The first show time's at 7:30 p.m. And we're thrilled. We're really excited. So it's
You
a
must
big
be
day.
ready to take a long nap.
You know, I'm my blood is like half coffee, half chocolate popcorn right now.
Can you tell us about the chocolate popcorn?
Yes. Oh, I would love to. It's my favorite thing to talk about. I love the movies, but really it's the chocolate popcorn that's big here. So Chocolate popcorn's been big at the Cinerama for a very long time. This is something that the theater's been serving for a while. And the number one question on SIF's FAQ is, will there be chocolate popcorn? It's the first question we get when people hear that we're reopening the space. There will be chocolate popcorn. We have been working for months to perfect this recipe, which
Good, because it wasn't my favorite when it closed.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
I'm
hope
so excited
you
to
gotta
try
come
it
back
now.
and taste. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need your assessment. But yeah, it's note perfect. It took a couple iterations. We would sit down and have meetings in the space when we first acquired it, and pop some chocolate popcorn and sit down, and we'd all be like, nope, this isn't it.
Yeah.
It's not right. Back to the drawing board. And then we'd go back, we'd fix the recipe. And so we're happy to say it is perfect. We're very excited.
So I think of the Seattle International Film Festival, or
Yeah.
SIFF, as kind of a not a documentary place, but it's just more of an educational film or
Yeah.
old classics or this or that. You're doing first run films here.
Yeah, that's a great
Is
question.
this the first time for you?
So we have SIFF owns a couple theaters in Seattle. This is now our 4th venue, which is very exciting. We own the Egyptian, which is in Capitol Hill, the Uptown in Queen Anne, and then the Film Center, which is also in Queen Anne. And we kind of think of each of our different theaters as having a different personality in terms of what we're programming and playing. So you'll see a couple first run films and blockbustery films at the Egyptian, like Barbie. We played Barbie at the Egyptian.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
We played Oppenheimer at the Uptown, but SIF's mission is to bring people together around film. And that could mean a film that you're never going to see anywhere else. It might not ever be available for streaming, but we're going to play it at SIFF. Or it could be Wonka. It could be a huge blockbuster film. And so really what the SIFF Cinema Downtown space is going to give us the opportunity to do is do those huge blockbusters and do them really well. It's like the best cinematic experience in the Pacific Northwest. So it's going to be great.
Super exciting. That's what
I
people
can't
loved
wait.
about
I feel like I don't know that I've actually been to a movie since COVID
Oh.
because I had 3 children in that time, mostly nothing to do with the movies, but I might have to make this like my re-entry to film.
The
I
last
think.
time I was there, Tom, you took a big group of us when we saw Julie and Juliet. I think we went to the
Oh.
Palace first and then walked over, and
Yeah.
it was super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember
That's
doing
the-
that,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, we guys got to come back.
Yeah.
So do you have a
absolutely.
lineup in your head? What else can we expect? What do we know that's coming our way?
Hoo-hoo. Yeah, there will be a lot. So we just put tickets on sale for a movie after Wonka. Wonka will play through the holidays, and then we're going to do the new Mean Girls musical in January, which should be a fun time. And then the next lineups will be announced in the coming weeks when we can put tickets on sale. But what we can say is that when we have the 50th annual Seattle International Film Festival next May, Cinerama is going to be SIFF Cinema Downtown. See, even I struggle with it.
Yeah.
Man, and I'm our marketing person. If I'm struggling with it, this is an issue. Yeah, branding's my job. But SIFF Cinema Downtown will be part of our lineup for the festival.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So we will be showing films there.
And I
It'll be
read
great.
somewhere there's a golden ticket going on for.
Yes. Yeah. We are having a lot of fun with this opening and leaning into Wonka. So we hid 5 golden tickets in some chocolate bars that we're going to be selling on site.
Uh-huh.
And the golden tickets will get you a year of free chocolate popcorn, which is very exciting. And also a all exclusive film pass to the Seattle International Film Festival in May.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And
And people are bidding on this? Is that what's going on with that?
It's
Or-
No,
just
it's like you buy it
It's
and
an
it's
auction?
random.
Oh, you
it's
buy
just
it.
in there. Yeah.
Just
Golden
like the
tickets
movie.
a la the
Just
original.
like in the movie.
I
Yeah.
see.
Hidden in the chocolate bars.
do you want to share what you brought to our audience?
I would love to share what I brought to the audience. So we would love to have you all at the theater if you were like. So we have 2 ticket vouchers for each of you to come on
Nice.
down, which we will be sending, and also vouchers for a free chocolate popcorn, of course. So you can,
Wow.
Movie and a popcorn.
yeah, test.
And of course,
test it.
we would love to do movie and a dinner. So if any of our radio listeners want to send in their favorite Cinerama or now SIFF Cinema, SIFF
SIFF Cinema Downtown.
Cinema Downtown, if they want to send in their favorite Cinerama story, we will pick one
That's
and
awesome.
do dinner with tickets to a movie.
Dinner and a movie.
Dinner at the Palace Kitchen and tickets to
So
a movie.
they just have to email Hot Stove
You,
Society.
baby. They have to email you.
Tom Douglas. No, I'm
There you
kidding.
go. Well, thank you for coming and sharing the whole excitement of the new SIFF Cinema in downtown. We're excited about it as people that have running businesses down here for 40 some years.
Yeah.
And so we think it's terrific.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks for
Madison
being
Zimmerman's been our guest, Associate Director of SIFF Film Center. Oh, we got so much to do today. I can't even imagine.
Can't even stand
We
it.
didn't even talk about all the cool things. Maybe I'll do that in the next segment, in the Shortcut to Scratch segment with Loretta on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
That's so generous. Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I Great. Yeah. I can just add this for you. Thank you. No, this is great. Perfect. So you'll get those. They'll email you. Yeah, well, what's and then Tom had to keep up.
Let's go ahead and do our pre-recorded segment now while we're cooking
Okay,
this.
awesome.
And then, so I'll do an intro to it. Okay. When our folks from Island Soul were here, we recorded 2 segments. One was live, and we put one in the can. So we're going to play that for you now, just so you know what's going on. Bye, Madison.
Bye. Thank you so much.
So this one is the art of gumbo and the
Yes.
seasonings, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and it's Theo and Rolando.
And we're back here in the Hot Stove Kitchen on Cairo. You know, when the guys from Island Soul were in a couple of weeks ago,
And Arlene's.
and
Arlena's.
Arlena's, exactly. We asked them to record a segment with us because we didn't get to everything we wanted to talk about. So chefs Theo Martin and Rolando of Island Soul in Seattle and Arlena's in Kirkland are going to talk to us a little bit about the art of gumbo and Chef Buddha's seasonings.
Yes.
All right, let's listen in. We're back here in the Hot Stove Kitchen on Cairo Radio. We started the conversation a couple of weeks ago with Chef Theo Martin of Arlena's in Kirkland, a new restaurant that's a sister restaurant of Island Soul. Is that correct?
Well, father, mother.
Father, mother. I love that. Father, mother restaurant. And we're inviting Rolando on to the mic.
Good to be here.
Good to be here. You're just starting with the company, huh?
Yeah, I just started Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk. Last time we got caught up in your life story, which brought tears to everyone's eyes of happiness. I will say that's, turning lemons into lemonade is
Yes.
always a good thing.
Yes.
Becky's been to your restaurant quite a few times already. I plan on getting there soon. But let's talk about some of the food and how it's made and what kind of love goes into it and ingredients, things like that. So let's talk about gumbo. Last week we focused a little bit that's a dish that you have to have when you go to Arlena's. How do you make it? What makes it so special?
Well, right now, what we love about it is just the slowness of gumbo. I have been lots of places like you, and gumbos can be thrown together, and they call it gumbo. Gumbo is something that when you take every part of it and you roast it, every vegetable, it goes into the oven. When it comes down to the chicken stock, the bones, you throw it in the oven and you roast everything. I have been in where I see everyone just throw it in a pot and just boil it until it's done. I have learned to get the flavor, it takes time.
Yeah.
Also, what makes a good gumbo is the roux. Someone taught me to use the word, think of peanut butter when you're making the roux. It's not just flour, oil, and water. It's the way it's stirred. It's the way it's a little extra seasoning here and there, because we do not want to use filet, or not filet, but gumbo.
The filet gumbo.
Filet gumbo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's for, I would say that's for rookies. I shouldn't say that, but but you don't want to use that. Your roux is the base that's going to make that a nice creamy.
You know who taught me how to make roux? Chef Paul Prudhomme.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At K Paul's down in
Yes,
New Orleans.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Woo. So okay, well, we got to talk roux talk. But yeah,
Well, you said peanut butter, which is a brown roux, which is different than a blackened roux, which is
Correct.
different than a blonde roux.
yes, it is.
But a lot of Americans don't know those differences.
No. And there's, like I said, each roux is a whole different game for what you're making for it. And then some, even a gravy, just how you want your color to look. But that roux that goes in there, what makes, to me, after you have that, everything roasted, and then you get into having your roux set, and the okra is the main base of a good gumbo. I use half a pan of okra, and then we put all of our fresh vegetables in there after it's all done. And then we add some chicken stock and we just let it simmer, first we sweat it, and then we pour some liquid in it and just let it just slowly get that okra to kind of break up and dissolve.
Right.
And it makes its own sauce right there.
Right.
And
It's a little bit of a thickener.
It's a little bit of
slime
thickener.
that you get in okra. It's
Yeah.
a little bit of a thickener.
got me hungry. And then we just let it kind of keep going. And then by then, now we're starting to take, we love, oh boy, Roberto. We love the hot links. We got some chicken andouille sausage that we have as well. And we start putting everything in and basically bringing the water up, or the stock up, and just let it sit there and simmer. All the cool things about the different sausages, when we use two different sausages, it starts releasing a lot of its flavors as well into it. We have our own seasoning that we put together that we also put into it from our Cajun seasoning, of course, and our own seasoning that we put in there, and just let it kind of sit there for a good 20 minutes on slow, and just let it just keep doing its thing.
What thickness should it be? I mean, should it be like creme anglaise, or what would somebody,
Coat the back of your spoon. Kind
yeah,
of
how thick should gumbo? Because sometimes you find it's more like a stew than a soup. And is this, what do you think, more stew-like or more soup-like?
I like more stew-like.
Okay.
To me, it's gotta, you gotta eat it with rice.
Right.
And
Just plain Uncle Ben's?
Well, we use
Down in New Orleans, you see a lot of Uncle Ben's.
we use Thai rice. And my son loves the basmati rice, so we kind of go back and forth. I got to go in the kitchen sometimes, see what's on the floor there, but the rice, it's just got to stick to the rice and coat it right over. But I definitely say I really enjoy more of a, it's definitely not a soup. It's more of a stew. It's definitely a thicker. So when you put it in your mouth, it's all over.
It's full of flavor.
It's full of flavors,
Rolando, tell us about what you've learned so far. You're brand new to the company, is that right?
I'm brand new. I just
And
started Monday. So
what background of cooking do you bring to the table?
I've been a lot of background. I have an Asian background, French, Italian, pretty much Mediterranean background also. So I'm all over. And what I'm bringing to the table is level up what Arlene is right now. So.
And so what do you love most that you've tried so far? Because this is new, a little bit new to you, right?
The gumbo is really good. I really love the goat curry. That's why you guys need to stop by there. It's and the oxtail. You just pull out of the bone, and it's just like a lot of savory flavor and stuff. So.
And tell us about the curry. Is it, when we think of curry, we tend to think of that kind of Japanese or Indian SMB curry, the yellow curry. Is this, but curry can be whatever you want it to be, right? So tell us about the curry a little bit.
Well, what we use right now is the yellow curry, and then we infuse it with coconut. That's what bites it. And what we're doing as of now, we mix it with jackfruit, and that enchants a lot of flavor. So
that's fun. Jackfruit is very fragrant, sometimes too fragrant.
Too fragrant.
Yeah. Kind of soak it a little.
Not a good smelling. Well, we have the spice rubs in front of us. It looks like you have a curry rub.
These are just spices, though, more than a rub, I think.
Rub.
Yeah,
correct. More
is
spices.
this what you use in your curry goat?
Yes. What we did was make it. My son put that together. He was always, sometimes we kind of go left and go right, and you want to stay right down the center when you're been in business for so long. You want everything to taste the same all the time. So my son got into, Dad, I want to make my own seasoning. And he got into making his own season. We call him Buddha, Chef Buddha. And so he came out with his Buddha seasoning. And yeah, it has everything in it. I mean, if you want to take some prawns, you want to take a piece of chicken, you want to take any seafood, you just honestly sprinkle it on there, and it's seasoned, it's ready to go.
Nice.
So it's a very nice, as we say, compliment to your meals.
Where can people
ask us.
find them?
Right now, we sell it just in-house.
Just in-house.
Just come to the
So
restaurant.
you have to visit the restaurant.
Gotta visit
have
the restaurant.
dinner,
That's
and then
right.
bring
That's
in the
right.
flavors
Life could be
home.
worse.
That's right.
Yeah.
Same thing with the hot sauce. Yeah.
Well, it's so fun. I'm going to get over there, and I can't wait to try out the entire menu. I love just ordering everything. That's my favorite.
We love when you do that.
We'll have, we'll have Becky come give us a tutorial. So
Yes.
we can eat dinner there together. And up next, more Hot Stove Society Radio on Cairo. It's 97.3 FM. All right. You got, do I need to do an out on that, or are you good? I think you got it. That's on the edge, yeah. Get a little bit of everything in there. One of the magazines has hot stove or yourself? Your choice. Hot stove, then Cat gets it. Well, this particular week we are jammed, so I would prefer if you take it this week. Yeah. January, no problem. Loretta burns these pants, not me.
I know.
Oh, yeah, you got that. How'd you do that? So we have a Chinese style, a Thai style, and a Korean style. This one says from China, product of China. Korean. The thicker one. Which is this one. Yeah. Yeah. I like those. So what you got with your Chinese green onion pancakes, your Thai green onion pancake, and your curry Taiwanese. Sorry, very different. And then the other one is a Korean jeon, Jeon pancake. So same idea, but the Korean one has more vegetables in it than the other two. The other two are just dough and green onions. And then I put on your plate there a little bit of my favorite spicy chili crisp. If you've listened to our show for a while, you'll know that Terry and I are in love with spicy chili crisp. It's not super spicy. This is a local one called Kari Kari. We sell it here at the gift shop. You can find it in most of the high-end groceries now. The inexpensive version of that is called Loganma. My godmother.
Oh.
Huh?
Lao
Loganma.
Just saying, if you're looking.
My goodness, I didn't know she was Chinese. You did take Chinese in high school, right? Or
1 year.
1 year.
Tough.
The only thing I know how to say is I like to eat noodles.
It was Lao Ganma. Is it you like to eat what? Noodles.
Bring more.
Okay, we're going to jump back in our show a little bit. Welcome back. It's the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo. Everyone's got their breakfast in front of them. And this is our weekly segment with Loretta and Dad Do. That's my name by my grandson Hercules calls me Dad Do.
Was my name for you when I was his age. So.
Exactly. So, and we have been exploring shortcut or scratch. So when does it make sense or when is it okay to take a shortcut? Because you're with 3 children under 3, you're all about shortcuts right now. Of course, kind of always have been.
I always have been. I love a good shortcut.
Even before
Now there's an excuse.
Now I have a really good excuse. Exactly.
Or is it better to take the time and make it from scratch? Is it just a totally different product, or is one acceptable compared to the other? So what did you pick for us today?
So I picked one of my favorite foods today, which is a scallion pancake or green onion pancake. There is a version of them found in a lot of different Asian cuisines. So I brought 3 today. I have a Taiwanese, a Chinese, and a Korean version. And it's something that I know that we have made at the hot stove before in
Many times,
classes and for events, homemade the scallion pancakes. I've never homemade them at
Wow.
home myself. But anytime I'm ordering Chinese, Korean, Taiwanese, I'm ordering scallion pancake no matter what. So the Korean version that I brought in today is from Trader Joe's. It's one of those things that I just always have in my freezer.
And it's very different, though.
It's totally different, but similar in it's a vehicle for crispy chili sauce and it's and grease and it gives you that kind of crunchy green onion flavor in the same way. So I first kind of fell in love with like the Korean version when I was in law school, and there is a Korean restaurant up in the University District called Korean Tofu House, and they do a seafood pancake kind of in this style, and I would go like twice or 3 times a week while I was at school to go get seafood pancake. So this is a seafood free version. This is just green onion, but it feels that same flavor. The Korean ones are thicker. Again, I've never made the Korean version at home either. It's more of a batter than a dough, I believe.
Yeah, I was looking at this because I have a dream pancake house menu in my head, and I wanted to include a pajon, which is kind of what this is. And it definitely has more than green onions, and it's got this particular one has carrots and king oyster mushrooms. I'm not sure they all have egg, but some have egg in them. And what else does this have? Soybean oil. So yeah. So anyway, it's much thicker. It's a much different kind of scenario.
Yeah. Whereas the Chinese green onion pancake is a rolled out dough that you kind of layer in sliced green onions too, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. Xiaoqing Chow, who has the book Chinese Soul Food, she's done many classes here, and she has a great recipe for our scallion pancake in her book. So you take it out and you roll it out like a tortilla, and then you put in your eggs, your egg wash, and your green onions, just sesame oil, and you roll that yeasty dough back up, and then you roll that into a roll like
in a spiral,
so it
right?
looks like what do we think? A snail?
A
It's a
snake
circle. Snake, and then you roll that roll back out, and that's where you get that kind of circular pattern in the. And you can see it even on the packaging for the Chinese and the Taiwanese pancakes. There's a circular motion to it. So I'm sure these were all done by machine. Of the two, you have a Taiwanese version and a Chinese version. I kind of like the Chinese version better because it's a little bit thicker.
It is a little thicker. Yeah, I like that too. It has a little more weight to it, for lack of a better word, and feels a little bit more substantial. What do you think as far as a substitute for the real thing?
Well, you learned to like these at my house because I would buy these as cheater pancakes.
Well, I learned to like them because we had the Tom's Tasty Tuna down at Edda's.
And those are real cheater
ones. And those
ones.
were really cheater ones with that flavor.
Right.
What do you mean? In what way?
We took
they were tortillas,
Mexican
right?
flour tortillas. So we put sesame oil egg wash on them, sesame seeds, chopped green onions, and put another tortilla on top, and then pan fried them.
I've done that. I get that.
100 million times cheater right there.
Yeah. But they're really good. And they do satisfy that same kind of
crispy, greasy, and vehicle for spicy chili crisp.
And chili crisp.
Yeah.
Now, Tom, you're on your New Year's menu. You've got scallion pancakes.
Those will be homemade versions. Yeah. And we're excited about that.
We're not going to serve everybody the
No
package version.
No. The New Year's menu, we still have 3 seats left, by the way, for that. That's inspired by Grace Lynn's book, Chinese Menu. And it's going to be happening here on, oddly enough, New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's all ideas from her book, although I'm taking recipe content from all over the place.
Inspiration.
Yeah. Some of my own machinations and this and that. So looking forward to that.
Awesome.
So I would say, Loretta, from a scratch or shortcut version of this, I would say any of these are perfectly fine for shortcut. I kind of like the Korean version the best because it's the least amount of grease in a funny way. It's a thicker pancake. You get a little bit more filling to greasy edge.
So I often, when I make kalbi, which we've talked about
Kalbi
as a
ribs.
shortcut, I'll make rice in a maybe simple bok choy, and then I'll make these Korean pancakes and serve them with it. And to me, it's like I make a stir fry, at least once a week, if not twice. And having these in the freezer for me is just a way to kind of
Yeah. It's kind of like
Add
having
that-
a Chinese French fry.
add to it, or like garlic bread when you're making spaghetti and meatballs or
Mhm.
something. I just think about it as that kind of extra component.
My favorite version here in our Chinatown is the Szechuan noodle bowl. And I
Oh my
like
gosh,
it
yeah, theirs is
because
so good.
their dumplings that they make down there are frozen right there in the freezer. So when you order them, they go to the freezer. You can see them, pull them out. Freezer's right in the dining room. And they take them back. And they take a while.
Yeah.
And so I always order a green onion pancake to kind of get the meal started. Even though in Chinese food, traditionally, you don't have courses,
Yeah.
right? That would always come together. But it comes out first because it cooks first. And
That's why you order it.
yeah,
'cause it comes out
exactly.
quickly.
And I just layer it with spicy chili. They don't have the crisp there, but they do have like the
Paste.
sambal,
Yeah, like sambal,
that
yeah.
chili paste. That's much spicier, oddly enough, than spicy chili
Yeah.
crisp. And so that's my favorite version. And if you go there, you have to check out the art on the walls. They have pictures of horses there that you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing.
It's my
I haven't been.
Yeah.
Oh, Becky.
Okay.
There's a freezer right in the middle of the dining room,
Uh-huh.
and then there's these.
But
horse
there's
pictures.
like it's like a photo of a plastic horse
Yeah.
in real grass, and then it's printed out on 4 8.5 by 11s that they then kind of like paste together to make
Collaged.
one
Yeah.
large picture. It's epic.
Inspirational.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No, it's
Ah.
funny. We all
No,
have
it's
our
the
own little
best.
things. People
Yeah.
laugh at me because some of my decor is eBay junk from eBay. So whatever, to each his own. But it is interesting to have your
Personal.
hot, spicy dumplings and your Chinese pancake with the pictures of the horses.
Yeah.
It's like you're sharing a rare treat.
Yeah. Well, I was excited to kind of taste these next to each other because the other two that we have today, I bought up at, if you're in Seattle, up at Asian Family Market on Aurora.
130th in a row.
Yeah, 130th. And there's probably 20 different
Wow.
ones in
Yeah.
their freezer case. And so I only picked 2 today because we only have so much time on this show. But one day I want to just go through and get like every single version to try next to each other because these really are one of my favorite foods.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things I've been doing with them recently is I pan fry one up in the morning and then I beat an egg. I put it in the pan and then I stick the pancake on top before the egg is set.
Uh-huh.
So the egg kind of sticks to the pancake and then flip it over, chili crisp in the middle, fold it like a quesadilla. And it's like a greasy breakfast quesadilla. It's delicious.
Lovely. And I do mine sometimes almost like a what we consider avocado toast.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just spread avocado in the center, fold it over, eat it like a sandwich.
So treat it like a burrito or treat it like a
Treat
tortilla.
it, yeah, use it.
Yeah,
You can use
exactly.
it where you
Very
would use a
flavorful.
tortilla.
But-
yeah.
Yeah.
Do not skimp on the fat when you're cooking it.
No.
It really, if you want the crispy edge, you have to.
And
Need
the
it.
puff, I
And the
think.
puff,
yeah.
Because if you don't put enough oil in the pan, it just sticks to the pan and then it doesn't get that like fluffy
Uh-huh.
rise inside.
Well, I noticed you two were cooking them at really high heat too.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you want them brown.
Yeah.
But and they're
the puff
very
is
thin.
pretty-
I mean, we're talking about 16th. And one thing I'll say before we get done, I would tell you the brand that we like the best, but I can't read it. On the
It's
back,
not
it
at
just
Trader
says,
Joe's.
yeah, it just says Scallion pancake. So
I'll take a picture of them all next to each other, and Becky, you can put it up on the show,
Okay,
like
perfect.
show notes.
all right, up next, we're going to check back in with Theo Martin and Rolando from Island Soul in Seattle and Arlena's in Kirkland. Okay, what did you like the best? You liked them all? Did you like the chili crisp? Yeah, isn't it good? I just love it. And it's not super spicy. I mean, my mother would never eat it, but that is a rice bran oil. But any sort of vegetable oil is fine. Sure. She likes safflower. She's also a Trader Joe's junkie.
even at Trader Joe's, the buffalo one.
Mhm.
I have been known to eat almost the entire time.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
can't buy it.
Stir-fried garlicky cabbage in the freezer section.
Oh,
And so it's like the easiest thing to add to like a instant noodle type when you're making it, or just put it with rice and it's really good.
yum. Okay.
Who knew that I?
I mean, credit to Trader
I grew-
Joe's. At least they're doing like,
Yeah.
no, it's not all frozen mac and cheese, which is also delicious. But, you know. I'm not allowed to say anything about mac and cheese other than features.
Her husband's the attorney for Beechers, so she's not allowed to talk about any other mac and cheese.
My husband's been doing Costco demos, which I find hilarious because I grew up doing Costco demos.
You had a real product to sell, like Rub with Love salmon rub. All right, and then on your regular breakfast, I don't know if you were told, but you had a Spanish tortilla, which is a potato and onion and egg type of omelet. And then there was ruby chard that was sauteed with a little bit of our fish taco spice. Our fish taco spice is real lemon and lime powder and 3 or 4 mild chilies. So it's a brightener, right? You can use like a togarashi, Japanese togarashi, to brighten things. And you also have some Spanish style chorizo, which is a thicker grind and air dried compared to, say, Mexican style chorizo, which a little bit more like ground beef in a casing. Brigitte.
You're looking festive.
Who's she calling a hoe? Funny, nobody ever forgets to check in, but they always forget to check out. Like, sign in.
I see.
Funny how that works.
No.
You're looking at me. For no other reason that I'm not interested in opening any more restaurants. You know, I'm 65 and I've had my run, so I do have some locations that I think need to be remenued, and so I've been dreaming about that a little bit. But I haven't really thought about it as a vegetarian version. But we have a menu meeting today. I'll think about that. What's your favorite thing when you go out to a vegetarian restaurant? What do you like to order? Right. Right. So did you ever, when Terry was Greek and Mediterranean, when Terry had Rover's restaurant, he used to have, his whole menu was like a 5-course or an 8-course tasting menu. And then he had a 5-course vegetarian tasting menu at the same time. And so lots of different concepts when it comes to vegetables that we weren't really familiar with. Because you can do anything, right? You can stew and soup and tartines, and there's so many things you can do with vegetables that we often think about pasta primavera, and it's like I have no interest in that. So, but just a little saute of a corn and chanterelle salad, or depending on the season, obviously. So, yeah. All right, you ready for hour number 2? Let's do this, Sean. We are back in the Hot Stove Kitchen on Cairo Radio here at the beautiful Hotel Andra, downtown Seattle. Everyone has got some food in their bellies, some coffee in their veins. It's very exciting. Becky, you're running around here. What's going on?
I'm trying to get something printed out for our audience members.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Like maybe some tickets that they won.
Maybe.
Well, don't forget to send if you want to win dinner at the Palace Kitchen for 2 before a movie at the Cinerama. God darn it.
Well,
Did
it's
it
going to take a
again.
while.
SIFF
The
Cinema
SIFF
downtown.
Cinema downtown at the old Cinerama. You need to email
hostwithconfidence@gmail.com.
host.
Withconfidence@gmail.com.
Whoa, that's news.
Wow, fancy.
News right there. Or you can just go to hotstovesociety.com also. So either way, you will get your email, and we can figure it out. We're going to do a drawing, right, on your favorite memory from going to the Cinerama throughout the years that it's been around.
Looking forward to the stories.
I know, exactly.
Preferably a menu that already included dinner at the palace beforehand.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, simple to spectacular. This is an emotional segment for us because it's our first time when we give tribute to our pal Thierry, who, if you haven't heard, is no longer with us. He passed away about 8 weeks ago now. We have a couple of tribute shows. I noticed on the Cairo website yesterday when I was doing Holiday Magic for Treehouse that they're still there. So if you want to see them, what dates are those?
November 3rd and November 6th. And there you can go back and look at shows from a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Always
Yeah.
on any podcast platform.
So, but we're going to continue his legacy by dealing with simple to spectacular. And Terry and I would argue about this sometimes. It's part of why we got together is because he came from a very traditional background. He was an apprentice at 14 years old in a kitchen in France with a wood or coal-fired stove.
Crazy.
And I came from a seat of your pants, a Motel 6 kind of background.
But you were also cooking at what, 18 in
17 at the Hotel
17,
DuPont,
yeah.
which was the finest restaurant in the state of Delaware.
I think you discount your training sometimes.
Well, maybe I do, but anyway, we would approach food like if you were to
Yes.
take scrambled eggs, for example. It was just something as simple as scrambled eggs. For me, I would take the eggs and I would look for a good egg, more so today than I did maybe 40 years
Yeah.
ago. I'd look for a really quality egg, and then I don't like to scramble on too hot a heat. I love a little cheesy in my egg or some chives, and I would serve a scrambled egg. Now, what would Chef Terry do? How would he take that and make it spectacular? And he became well known.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, probably became his most well-known dish
Yes.
at Rover's over the years of his
Perfect scrambled eggs.
perfect scrambled egg.
Yeah.
And so I have his book in front of me, and I thought about this because I also have John George von Richten's book called Simple to Spectacular.
Ooh.
And on the cover
Is
is
Terry's
Terry's
egg.
egg.
Wow.
And, I thought, well, God, I wonder if Terry ever saw this book, and I'm sure he did. But in the opening of this recipe in his book, he said, if there's one signature dish at Rover's, this is it. And it's a scrambled eggs with lime creme fraiche, white sturgeon caviar, all stuffed back into the eggshell that he got the egg out of. And so if you look at the John George's cover,
That's
you can
it.
see he's done exactly the same thing. And Terry says, I didn't invent this dish or this recipe. It has been prepared many times by many chefs, but this is my rendition of the contemporary classic. I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
I always thought that that was kind of his little deal, but apparently he was inspired, like I am often, by other chefs and ideas. And then what you end up doing is just doing your own little twist on things. So my scrambled eggs are delicious.
Yes. And much
But they're
easier to make.
Much easier to make.
So we
Probably less expensive without the white sturgeon caviar.
way back in the day, we did go to Rover's and had that for the first time. Then at summer camp, he came and did a demo of the eggs for us. So I bought ridiculously expensive at the time to $50 for that little tool to get the top off the egg.
Right. So you got the one that
You
is spring loaded and it
Yep. And I practiced dozens of eggs. Every time I needed an egg, I practiced, and I never got it. And it's at the Goodwill. It never worked for me.
Never went back again.
No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get a perfect.
You were so frustrated you gave it away to Goodwill.
Yeah, where did I learn that from?
Wow, I don't know. Fantastic. Well, so those little things, it's a little stainless steel popper, and it fits over the top of the egg, and it comes down about an inch or so, 3/4 of an inch on the egg top, and you pull the wand back and you let it go, and the spring cracks it, and it's supposed to make a nice round cut on your top of your egg.
So was your whole egg breaking, or you were just getting jagged
It
edges?
just had jagged edges, and then I
Okay.
did read that Terry did use.
Yeah, he does
used to
use
cut it, and that's the
scissors
part
or
I didn't
knives.
know.
Yeah.
So I just got frustrated and gave it away.
The part I didn't know that Terry did when on this recipe was that he went inside the eggshell, or I'm sure he didn't do it. He had one of his minions do it, and scrape the membrane out of the eggshell,
yeah.
and then he puts them in the refrigerator to dry, so that when he goes to refill them, they
Ah.
are not sitting out all day on
They're
the
clean.
counter.
That makes
and
sense.
They're clean and chilled. And
Yeah.
anyway, so then he scrambles the egg. You know, like me, he likes a soft scrambled egg, but he whips his egg.
Mm-hmm.
And the last person I saw do that really was Jacques Pepin. And it must be more of a French thing where
yeah.
he's just works and works and works the egg. You don't get big curds of eggs like you might if you're doing a regular scramble,
Yeah.
right? So, and then
That's a debate in my house, I'll say. I think some people like that soft style, and other people think scrambled eggs need to have that more solid curd.
yeah,
I
some texture.
prefer the soft.
It's
You
very
prefer the
personal.
soft?
Yeah.
I'm more of the curd. Terry and I argued about that. This is like his omelet. He loved them raw. Like
Yeah, I don't-
when you
yeah.
cut into an omelet, he wants it to drip out the center. Yes. Ooh.
So I have a question about caviar, the
Yeah.
white sturgeon caviar. I know you two both know a lot about caviar. What would you recommend if you're going to the store these days?
Well, I go to. I love having
Seattle
Seattle caviar
caviar.
in our backyard, and so I like to support them. And I don't do it very often. Always on Christmas
Year's?
Eve and
Yeah.
New Year's. And when we need it in the hot stove here, we'll buy from them. They're probably not the cheapest, but you know, I love supporting. I love going to that
Mhm.
shop. And so
The
if you don't go to
cutest-
these
and
shops,
yeah, it's the sweetest shop. I mean,
we all have to decide this in our world, right? If you don't go to these shops, they're going to start disappearing, and then
Right.
and they already have.
yeah, they already have.
Like Mike's wine shop. But anyway, so white sturgeon. Terry and I had this conversation over the years too, and we were both in absolutely against buying wild sturgeon caviar, right? Because it's
Not
New
sustainable.
York Times said in the article it's 99% poached,
Oh,
and it's not a sustainable fishery. So we would always buy the farmed sturgeon caviar out of the Sacramento Valley, and we felt good about that. And so you can buy it in different egg sizes: the Osetra, the Beluga, Sevruga, and then so he did the egg in. He scooped it in with a little demitasse spoon, which is an espresso spoon. Put the egg back in. Made a little like a savory whip, and put lime zest in it.
mm.
The
and-
lime is throwing me off.
I know, but it's
the
perky. It's
citrus
nice.
with the egg is just not a combo that I.
Well, citrus with the roe is.
Okay.
Well,
You
you
think
think, of
about-
lemon,
think about it from
lemon
that.
and fish, maybe.
Yeah.
Lime.
So, and then he just put the little dollop of the caviar on top. So his scrambled eggs seem to be a little more spectacular than my scrambled eggs. And that's what we loved about Terry. He and his cooking.
Yeah.
It's just, he's just never backed away from anything like that. But he also charged those eggs as an appetizer. 15 years ago, they were $25 a
Yeah, it
piece.
was a
So,
special occasion for sure.
yeah, for sure. So,
Could you do so if you wanted to recreate something like this flavor profile at home? Is ikura like too fishy? Because that's more widely available. I think of ikura being more like.
it's just not for me. If you're going to
Okay.
do it, I would go ahead and buy
Just
the
do
nicer
it all the way.
caviar.
Okay.
Yeah. And you got to remember, it's $80 an ounce, right? Well, you're only using, you can get at least 8 portions out of that. So it's actually $10 a person.
Mhm.
Not cheap. I'm not saying it's cheap. I'm just saying it's not $80 a person.
If you're doing it as a special occasion food,
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
it. Okay.
The egg is cheap. And if you don't want to do the whole shell part, you just put it into an espresso cup. And Terry even says in his book that, feel free to not do that
Use a
process,
small
'cause
dish
that
or
takes
something.
some time.
Yeah.
You got 10 people for
10
dinner, and you have to do
talent.
10 eggs. Oh my goodness. So much work. But as I found out standing in Terry's kitchens over the years, drinking whiskey while he was chefing, he had a lot of people that were willing to do some labor for him there at the old Rover's restaurant. Okay, Mike Tier's coming up. He's got the wine shop down at the end of the Pike Place Market, the north end, and it's a long-time favorite of ours. It's also where I met my wife, Jackie, which is why Loretta is sitting right over here at the microphone.
Aw.
On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Hi, Mikey.
Mike is Loretta's godfather and great godfather to her grandchildren.
Yes.
Hey, Sean, did you put up the picture of the twins for these folks to see?
I like those glasses.
This is what I want to have.
Oh.
Mike said, aw.
This is Adonis. This is Athena. We took him out to a restaurant last night.
Wow, where'd you
It
go?
did not go well.
How many people did you have?
Actually, the babies did sort of good. It's the 2.5-year-old
Oh,
that's struggling right now. Yeah.
Oh man, 2.5 to 3 is killing me. He's trying to kill me.
Quite literally, he had a knife at your throat last
Yeah.
night.
Well, slight exaggeration.
Well, he did. It was a butter knife, but it was still a knife.
Yeah, we have firmly in the I won't try anything new. I won't do anything new. I have to do everything my way.
You know what they say?
I only want
Paybacks
mommy.
are a bitch.
Hey.
You guys
Me?
see that? Isn't that cool?
Now double it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Did you guys all know Chef Terry had passed? Sometimes I'm afraid to say it because I don't want to shock people. Because people, there's so much love in this town for him. And I've seen it everywhere I go, and been the beneficiary of a lot of that love because people have translated it to me because we're pals.
I forgot to tell you when I was at Trader Joe's shopping for those yesterday, I got talking with the cashier and I said, yeah, I co-host this podcast and we're doing a tasting and blah, blah, blah. She said, oh, what one? I said, it's called the Hot Stove Radio Show. And she goes, Tom and Terry, I listen to it every week. I love it. And I was like, that's such a small world. Said, well, you can listen and hear which one. Have you heard from Francesca recently?
Mike is also married to Pamela, our former producer. I think I
Somebody
told you
just
early on.
listened to her that
Really?
Her wine's really good. She's getting her own vintages.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I need to
I need to
reach out to her.
her.
Oh, what about Franca?
A little bit. She might be here next year. But they've been hunkering down more. We've seen a couple, but not very many. in
Interesting.
23. This year's a little closer to normal, but it's still not normal.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? It's Christmas time in the Hot Stove Kitchen on Cairo Radio. We have invited Mike Tier back to the comfy confines of our kitchens here in downtown Seattle. You are also, your wine shop is just 4 blocks away, a short stroll down the hill, down Virginia to get the Pike and Western Wine Shop. Why is it called Pike and Western, Mike? Tell us that.
Well, I wasn't there when the shop was named,
Uh-huh,
but I believe it's a conglomeration of Pike Place
uh-huh.
and Western Avenue, which
Right.
are the main streets in the market. We're on
Exactly.
the corner of Virginia. If I was to go
Yeah,
back,
so it should
I-
be Virginia and
I
Western Wine
probably-
Shop.
Well, we weren't there.
Pike and Virginian.
The store started in the lower level of the market,
Oh, okay.
down the ramp from City Fish. And then it was
Interesting.
where the knife
Okay.
shop is.
Yeah.
And then it moved into our location when that building opened in 1979.
Okay.
The Seattle Times finally did an expose on the original Starbucks location, which I have been
Right.
telling people
Right.
forever where it really is. Does anyone know where it is? It's where my restaurant, Seatown, is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it finally came out in public.
I always like to tell people that it was an old state liquor store. I actually applied for a job there way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
the kind of store where you had to go in and ask for your bottle. And there was a line in front of that building then, but it was for other reasons than going into Starbucks.
Exactly. Okay, what have you brought for us? What should we be drinking at Christmas? You know, my feeling is that keep it simple a little bit at these big holiday meals because
Right.
it's not the time to break out your fanciest wine. Not that your guests aren't worth it. It's just there's too much going on to appreciate it.
I 100% agree. And what I've brought today, and I have some suggestions here that I can leave with the audience, is to keep it simple. You don't need to stress about wine and you don't need to spend a ton of money. Obviously, as a small wine shop, I say you should go to a smaller wine shop where you might pay a little more, but I'm convinced you will get better wine without spending that much more. So I have a selection of wines here that range from $16 to $22 a bottle, all small producers, all super versatile, that will cover anything you might serve. Because Tom's right, Thanksgiving and Christmas, unless you're doing intimate dinners, it's not the time to break out.
Or
the
you're
best
having a
wines.
wine tasting. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, if you're trying 3 different white burgundies, but you're not mixing it all up with lots of food.
Right.
Making
that's
it
different.
one of the activities
Yeah.
of the evening
Yeah,
versus an
And
accompaniment.
these, I think, and I learned this with my family, these are things that will appeal to a broad range of drinkers. Your grandma will like them. Even the wine geek will like them because they're good wines, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on them.
Loretta's grandma only drank.
Vodka tonics.
No. That the other grandma.
Oh, Manischewitz.
Yeah, exactly. Manischewitz, Mogan David.
No, those were big back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember them. I might have even drunk something like that before. But
Moscato d'Asti
I don't
became
admit to
her
it. Yeah.
later in life. Yeah.
So today I brought we have 3 wines here, 4 wines on my list. The first one is our new runaway hit sparkling wine from, of all places, Argentina. Argentina and South America, there's a lot of real creative things happening. This is a small producer on the Argentinian coast, located at 4,000 feet. So really high altitude. So you get real freshness. It's 100% Chardonnay. It is bulk processed. It's not champagne, but it's really high quality, great fruit, dry but not too tart. $16 a bottle before any
Wow.
discounts. People have been going nuts over it.
Right.
And I definitely notice when my customers are coming back, hey, do you have any more of that? Do you have any more
Right.
of that? I really pay attention to
Yeah.
those wines. And this applies to the second wine on my list. And this is from our, Loretta was just asking about Francesca from GD Vira. And this is a wine from her family under the Luigi Baudana label. It's a white wine called Dragon, a Piemontese white.
Dragon.
And it is, again, we can't keep it in stock. We have it right now, but it's $21 a bottle. It's a blend of Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, a local grape called Nacheta, and a little Sauvignon. So it's just a blend. They don't even talk about the blend that much. But
Right.
it's bright, fresh, really crisp, super good as a. This would be for the getting things started. This would be for your seafood course or your salad course, something really light and fresh.
And what's the name again?
Dragon.
Dragon.
It's got
Right.
drawing of a dragon on a label, and it's from Baudana is a small producer that they worked with until they sold it to the Viras in Serralunga d'Alba, known for their Barolos. But I know you know, Tom, all the Piemontese producers we love that make really high-end Barolos and Barbarescos, virtually all of them make really delicious, less expensive wines too.
That they don't necessarily want you to know about.
Well, no, people don't believe me. People know about it. But just Nebbiolo d'Alba, Barbera, Dolcetto, and now we're seeing some more white wine coming out of Piedmont, and they're proving good alternatives to some of the more traditional crisp whites in regions where it's getting a little warmer and the wines have gotten a little riper. So that's a great white that will cover a lot of bases for you. A red that I recommended, there's many things you could do, but this is a real favorite. I'm going to show everybody the label. It's made by a winery that I know Tom knows, and Andrew Will Winery. Chris Camarda was a server at Il Bistro in the market when he founded it. Hasn't been there for a long time, but now his son Will is running things. And Will came up with this idea of a less expensive alternative, because Andrew Will wines are $70 to $100 a bottle. And he's really hit the nail on the head, vintage after vintage. It's Cabernet Merlot and Cabernet Franc, classic Washington Bordeaux blend. No new oak, really fresh, and $22 a bottle. It's a steal. You can spend. I've tasted $40 wines from Washington that don't stand up to this one.
This is the involuntary commitment.
Involuntary
Okay.
commitment.
Yeah, you brought me a bottle of this a few weeks ago, and we had it the other night with dinner. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's
super
really
easy
is
drinking, and yeah.
really surprising. I mean, I always say we need more wines like this from Washington.
Yeah, that's always been one of your complaints, is that the Washington wines have just gotten too expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet here's this tiny. I mean, Will delivers the wine himself. It's a tiny operation.
Uh-huh.
I think he priced it to be attractive to restaurants by the glass, for Washington wine by the glass. We love it at Pike and Western because it's really stands out.
I don't think people realize that in restaurants that bottle of $22 retail. So what is it wholesale?
Now
16, 8.15,
13.
13. Yeah, that would be a $13 glass
Yeah.
at a restaurant. That's a great value in a restaurant these days.
Yeah, I mean, it's really solid wine. You
Yeah.
can pay $13 for a lot of wines in a restaurant that
Yeah.
don't taste as good as this. And two other things I want to talk about. I'm not a big dessert wine drinker, but I think a lot of people like a little something sweeter at the end of the meal. I personally prefer something lighter. I mean, you can do sauternes and ports, but if you're having pie or you're having cookies, or maybe you're having a little cheese plate, if we were at Jackie Cross's house, it would be a cheese
Always
plate.
a cheese plate at Jackie Cross's house.
There's a range of off-dry sparkling wines on the market. And the one on my list here is from the Loire Valley, made from Gamay. It's called Domaine Sirol. Has just about 2.5% residual sugar. It's 9.5% alcohol. So at the end of a big meal, you're not just throwing more calories on top. It's fresh. It refreshes your palate and is super charming. And then when Becky and I were talking, I wanted to mention one thing. And I'm a wine store. We sell beverages with alcohol in them. But I've been on the lookout for some non-alcoholic alternatives, and it's not my specialty. And I do want to mention that Seattle now has a non-alcoholic shop called Cheeky and Dry. I'll give them a plug.
Great.
They probably know a lot more about it than I do. But I came across two products real quickly that caught my attention. One, a cider from a Normandy cider producer called Eric Bordelais. Yes, we have Martinelli's, but this is next level cider, and it costs about $18 a bottle. So it's more, but the presentation's fancier, and it'll make the non-drinker feel more part of the group. And then this wine I thought maybe I should leave it at the store because I have so little of it, but I tasted this at a wine tasting, and it's a fermented tea from Lithuania. And it's the first thing I've tasted that made me think, I could drink this at dinner.
Actually have a glass of this and be.
And it will go with dinner.
Yeah.
And it's a blend of fermented teas and other savory herbal items, dry but not tart, a little bit of sparkle to them, and it's delicious. So I'm promoting stuff like this in hopes that my distributors will carry more things like this. But if you want to see a range, check out Cheeky and Dry too.
So how do you ferment something that doesn't have sugar in it? What is the process?
Well, they add sugar.
Oh, okay.
Spring water, fermented tea, sugar,
Okay.
green and white lemongrass, marigold, wormwood, passionberry.
Okay.
And it's made by a European sommelier. I don't know a lot about them yet, but I would carry this in the store year round if my distributor would bring it in. So,
Yeah.
And we have some at the store.
I love wormwood. You see that in a lot of vermouth
Yeah,
blends.
right.
Yeah, so terrific. Okay, go down and see Mike at Pike and Western. You'll find when you shop at a small shop like Mike's is that the owner of the store or some of the employees there get to know your palate, and we'll have suggestions for you. And
Super helpful.
super helpful.
I love
Yeah, it's really a nice way to go about your wine cellar is to have someone who actually knows and cares.
We know a lot of palates.
This segment, we're going to announce the KitchenAid winner of our mixer. We have some festive planning for your holiday dinner on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Can I see the?
I should have known you were on top of it.
Ha. Sometimes.
Awesome. You want to pick?
Yeah.
You thought we were lying.
It's hard to
Remember in Hawaii?
Yeah. I wish them well. It's a tough category. A little bit, not a lot. There's two different ones. And they're both premium for $7 a month. Half that much should be for the break. And also check out GP Diet. We're gonna have a place. We are committed whites. So we're gonna have a lot.
Is this yours?
It's killing me. I wonder if that was Madison's.
No, she didn't.
Have
Traveling light.
All right. You guys are so quiet today.
Everybody's taking notes over there.
Yeah, you want to do it before you lose the KitchenAid battle.
You know what I can't find online? No one has it. Is the Fagroni that you sell at Neb?
Even their website doesn't have it.
No, that's not true. It ended up being so much in shipping that it wasn't worth it.
Oh.
That's what it was. It was
Because
ridiculous.
I got it at Ballard Market
Oh,
recently.
you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Colorado.
Right next to the wine section.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sean, are you ready for all this excitement that's going to happen right now? So we didn't even tell you that there's more than one prize, just the one big prize.
Well, you know what happens is someone gives a prize and you want to do more. I've noticed this happen on the show before. So you just get excited to give.
Yeah. Have we gotten an email yet for dinner at the Palace Kitchen? Sometimes our YouTubers get a little head start. Ah. All right. Ready, set?
Hold on.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, Christmas giveaway, holiday giveaway, whatever you want to call it. I'm Tom Douglas,
I'm Loretta Douglas.
and we're here at the Hotel Andra in downtown Seattle on the second floor, way in the back. We do have people kind of searching a bit for us sometimes. And we announced last week that we're going to give away a couple of items from one of our sponsors here at the Hot Stove, the KitchenAid. We have a KitchenAid sponsor, and we have Booze Blocks, who did all of our tabletops and the cutting boards that I'm standing at. So, Becky, what was the deal on that? Just
show up, buy a ticket, have a nice breakfast, and show up. So one of our audience members is going to be the lucky winner.
that sounds pretty easy.
Yeah.
So
The
we
low
just
barrier to entry right there.
yeah, exactly.
Come see us.
Tickets are $25, and you get a hot breakfast. Was it worth the breakfast? Yeah. I had an omelet at a little greasy cafe last week. It was $19 for my omelet,
my
and
goodness.
a cup of coffee was $25.
Oh my.
So, including tip, it was a $30 breakfast. So, this is a deal because you get the show on top of it. You get our charming company.
Breakfast and a show.
You got a tasting of green onion pancakes today.
Won
It's
some tickets to the new SIFF
Oh, everyone
cinema
got it. That's
downtown.
right. You know, those tickets are, I think, 18 or
yeah,
19
they're like
bucks
18
a
bucks
piece.
a piece.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was worth the ticket price alone.
There
So
you go.
come down and see us
you could
sometime.
have won a mixer worth, a couple $100 there.
300 and some dollars is what
Yeah.
that value on that mixer is right there. So somebody in our audience today is going to win a KitchenAid mixer. It's red. Somebody in our audience is going to win a KitchenAid immersion blender,
Ooh.
which was one of those tools way back when people would ask me, what's the most useless tool in the kitchen? I would always say, like, I don't
know
need
you
that
were
thing.
such a hater on the
I
immersion
was
blender,
such
and
a
now
hater.
you use yours.
I have switched that hate to air
constantly.
fryers now.
Yeah, that's
But-
just because I like them. You have
I
to
know,
hate them
exactly.
on principle.
Anyway, so we've got one of those to give away. We've got 2 KitchenAid peelers. So this works on a potato or an apple, but you need a KitchenAid mixer for it to be useful. And my favorite KitchenAid tool, one is a pasta roller. So instead of having to roll by hand, it fits right into the motorized mechanism up on top, and you can make your homemade pasta and just roll it out nice and easy. It's super fun. KitchenAids, those mixers I've had now. Jackie and I bought one. Your mom and I bought one. I want to say for each other as a Christmas present. Like we said, okay, we're not going to buy anything else, but we're each going to put half these in for our Christmas present. Maybe, let's see, we just had our 40th anniversary, so probably 36 years ago or something.
And it's still running.
No, we've had to replace it. But
you just replaced it. I mean, in the last.
we just replaced our one from 25 years ago in the
Okay.
last month. So I could have taken this one, but no, I saved
You're
it
a
for our
giver.
audience. I'm a giver. Okay, so Becky, how do you want to do this? Do you want to pick? Or you want Loretta to pick?
I think Loretta should pick.
Okay. So at home, you can play along with us by watching us on YouTube. But it's probably not very good radio to do this. So I just want to hear the one. Well, let's just do them all. Let's start with the immersion blender. No, are you gonna read them off? Okay, good.
All right. Immersion blender is going to Terry Clark.
Yay,
Yay.
Terry Clark. Nice job. You know, I was at Cairo yesterday doing the holiday magic for Treehouse, and it's kind of like what it was like there yesterday. Everyone winning prizes, buying auction items, raising money for Treehouse. And if you haven't jumped on Cairo's site and donated to that, it's probably a good idea because we've had the Treehouse kids here at the hot stove. And, you know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how good those parents are to take on kids, foster parents and foster kids. You know, it's hard for me to even talk about it because they're so amazingly charming. And I know it doesn't always work out, but man, when it does, it's magic.
Well, Theo Martin, his story.
Yeah, Theo Martin right
With
here who has
Arlena's.
those restaurants.
Yeah.
You heard him earlier. He was a foster kid from a young age.
Yeah, very young.
Okay, our next giveaway item is going to be the
Pasta maker.
pasta maker, but you have to have a KitchenAid in order to use this. So maybe we should give away the KitchenAid and just give away the pasta maker to the KitchenAid person. You want to do that? How many people in the audience have KitchenAids?
Okay,
Oh,
most
pretty
people.
much everyone does. Okay, pasta maker. Let's
Except
do
for
it.
the people in the back.
Okay, Lynette is the winner of the pasta maker.
All right, Lynette. Do you have your own pasta maker?
Would you prefer the peeler? Yeah. Okay, peeler it is.
All right.
So then pasta maker or peeler, you can take your pick, is going to Giselle.
All right, Giselle, way to go. Do you have a preference between a pasta roller or the peeler? Pasta roller.
All right, last peeler goes to Sylvia.
There you go. And then our final item, the KitchenAid mixer in red, is going to go to...
Bruce.
Whoa, Bruce, do you have a KitchenAid already? How perfect.
Woo!
Way to go. See, it pays to come see our show in person. Not only did you get a hot breakfast of chorizo and Spanish tortilla and ruby
Hot
chard,
blueberry
blueberry
muffins.
muffin, coffee, and now a KitchenAid mixer in red. Congratulations.
All right, what are you using that KitchenAid mixer for this holiday dinner?
Well, why don't you tell people about you making mashed potatoes in our KitchenAid at Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
Little
I had
messy?
a mashed potato mishap. I put a few too many potatoes in the KitchenAid mixer and I turned it on and there was an explosion.
So my ricer was the way to go. It took a while, but
Yeah.
maybe that was the way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe I ended up having to do it in batches. And then
And it still took a while to clean up the mess.
yeah, I left the mess for you. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Nothing new there.
But yeah, what's the plan for holiday dinner this year, Tom Douglas?
Well, our traditional dinner, we have two, right? We have the New Year's Eve here that's happening at the hot stove, which is Chinese inspired from Grace Lynn's book, Chinese Menu. And Annie and I are making all sorts of things. She's bringing her, Annie, you're a combo, right? You're a Vietnamese, Cambodian, Lao, is that right? Vietnamese, Cambodian, Chinese. She's bringing her expertise. And then I'm actually going to teach her how to cook that night. Somebody told me that they love how much of a hard time Annie gives me on the show. And I'm glad somebody enjoys that. So anyways, Annie and I are doing New Year's Eve, and we're going to be Chinese. But for Christmas, I'm in charge of the bistecca this year. The host has requested bistecca for the entree. So big, fat.
Are you going to do tomahawks? Or are you
I think
gonna
tomahawks. It depends on how expensive Mishima Reserve is.
Okay.
Because your husband works for Mishima Reserve.
Yeah.
And the last
Gonna
time
try
I
and
bought a
get you a
tomahawk,
deal.
yeah, last time I bought a tomahawk steak from Mishima Reserve for an event here at the hot stove, it was $300 for the one steak.
Wow.
Yeah,
Was it delicious?
it was fabulous. So we won't be having those, but we're going to find something
Yeah.
from Mishima to make into a bistecca. So
Yeah.
a charcoal grill. And then I always think on a night like that, when you get a big tomahawk chop like that, think about it like 4 or 5 people per chop, because you have to have it thick enough to make it luscious,
Yeah.
get a char on both sides,
Really
and
get
still rare in the
dark
middle.
color, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to like kill people with too much meat on a night like that because you got so much else going
Yeah.
on, right?
I mean, I think that's exactly why we've ended up on Christmas Day doing vegetable soup in our
Right.
family. I mean, we do a huge, big meat dinner on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day we have vegetable soup. And
Pot of soup.
nobody wants that twice in a row. So if you're hosting both or attending both, I would encourage a light option on one of the days.
That's a great idea.
It doesn't have to be a huge, heavy meal to be special, I think.
All right, up next you can it's rub. I got hurrying and then I stopped, Sean. Up next, it's rub with. Up next, it's Rub with Love, Food for Thought, Tasty Trivia on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. Oh, no. Look at that. You're obviously the choice then. Oh, no.
Come sit up at the mic.
We're just going to make fun of you for 15 minutes. You obviously haven't listened to our show enough.
Oh, no, I eat at your restaurant, though.
That's good too.
What's that?
You want to be break.
Okay.
Practice with me. Listen to me.
Hello.
Listen. And listen. Ooh, hear the difference?
I'm listening.
Yeah, that's so hot.
Excellent.
Uh-oh, Amy Richardson's in the house. Are you avoiding me? I haven't seen you in almost 2 weeks almost. When we were building our new restaurant, Neb, we saw each other every minute of every day. And then now
She needs a break.
she seems entirely too happy about not seeing me.
Yes. Yes.
Sylvia?
Yes.
Okay.
And how do you know that?
They're my two friends forever.
Friends like that, who
Yeah.
needs enemies,
I
right?
know.
Oh, she'll do it. Sylvia will do
It's
it.
Terry's birthday, so we came
Oh,
down
happy
to
birthday,
do
Terry.
something
Terry.
fun.
Terry looks like the woman we sat next to at the restaurant last night. I think she left before you got there. We told them that they were going to be surrounded by kids, and they immediately
Yeah, they booked
paid
it.
their bill and left.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Saltoro restaurant up on Greenwood Avenue, 143rd and Greenwood. Yeah, always one of our neighborhood faves. Yeah.
Yeah, they wish that we hadn't come in last night, but
Nah.
I did actually.
Normally we have the chicken, the salty chicken.
Their
but
oven's broken.
Their oven broke last night. Oh, really?
Well, in between then and now, their oven has broken, so there's no chicken right now.
All right, here we go. Food for thought, tasty trivia. Welcome back. It's time for Food for Thought Tasty Trivia, brought to you by Rub with Love Spice Rubs. You can find them at your local grocery stores like Met Market, PCC, Hagen Foods, and Thriftway. Also, specialty stores like Pacific Northwest Shop, with locations in the Proctor neighborhood of Tacoma or Wallingford in Seattle or Made in Washington. They are all over the place. For our friends to the north, please visit Market Meats in the Kitsilano and Kerrisdale neighborhoods of Vancouver, BC. And a reminder for our online shoppers, we have free shipping from our website for orders over $50
A deal.
till the end of the year in the continental United
Finish
States.
up your holiday shopping.
Exactly. Easy peasy. Okay, we're going to play some trivia. Becky, tell us how to play the game, and then who's playing?
Okay, we've got you three will all get 5 questions, and the winner is the one that gets the most right. And Sylvia here is our lucky person from the audience who just won a KitchenAid peeler.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
you're gonna
so
you're gonna
excited.
win
It's a
this
big
too.
day for you, Sylvia.
Yeah.
You can make applesauce. Easy now.
Awesome. So we're going to start with Loretta first. All right,
Whew.
Loretta.
Okay.
You got this. What is a traditional spirit used to douse and ignite a Christmas pudding?
Brandy.
You got it. Nice work.
I don't care about the pudding. I only care about the hard
The
sauce
fire?
that goes along
Oh.
She
with
likes the
it.
hard
So
sauce.
I just
Oh.
could eat that by the bowl.
Which is basically butter, powdered sugar, and brandy.
Sounds
Yeah.
delicious. Which one of these ingredients is typically not included when making falafel? Chickpeas, eggs, or fava beans?
Eggs.
You're correct. Number 3, what fast food restaurant is surprisingly popular at Christmas time in Japan?
McDonald's.
It's actually
KFC.
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 Fried chicken. Yeah.
It was the tradition began after a marketing campaign in the 70s, and since then, a special Christmas menu is revered as a family treat, and so many people order it in advance, or they wait in long lines.
That's
Uh-huh.
so funny.
Interesting. All marketing.
You know, I just did a little contest in my own restaurants where the winning restaurant won a magnum of champagne and a Kentucky Fried Chicken dinner for their staff meal.
That's awesome.
And the team that won was the Palace Kitchen, and
Uh-huh.
everyone was so jealous.
Oh,
KFC has a little spot in the heart for a lot
yeah,
of people.
for sure.
I'd choose the plain over the KFC.
Yeah.
But, anyways. Okay, number 4. What is moshwort also known as? It's a
Moshwort?
moshwort. It's also marshwort. Excuse me, marsh, like a
Marsh.
bog-
Just do it
marsh.
again. Sean, can you fix that for us? Just do it again.
Number 4. What is marshwort also known as?
Marshwort.
It's a popular holiday ingredient. It's a fruit.
A fruit. Persimmon?
Cranberry.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. That makes sense.
From the
Marshy.
marsh.
I was
Yep.
like, I have no
That's-
idea.
That's a tricky one.
Okay.
Okay, number 5. In English history, what traditional Christmas food did women eat for good luck in their quest to find a husband? It's something sweet. It's kind of cute too.
Gingerbread?
Yeah, gingerbread man.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
Good.
yes. You got 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right. Not my best week.
That's okay. Sylvia
Thank
is happy
God.
about
I'm so
that.
tired of hearing about it at family meals. I killed you last week in trivia.
All right.
Okay. Try
Sylvia-
not to embarrass myself.
No, you're going to do great. Please tell us the name of the Christmas dessert that began in the Roman times when sweetbread was packed with fruits and nuts and served at feasts.
mincemeat.
It's actually fruitcake,
Oh, yeah.
but that's okay.
I would give her that one because they're,
it the same?
they're
Is it?
interchangeable.
I would too.
Yeah.
Okay, then, well done. Well
Good
done.
job, Sylvia.
I'm filled with the holiday spirit.
So generous. True or false? Even though Spam is a popular Hawaiian treat, the home of Spam is in Minnesota.
True.
That is true. And there's even a Spam museum. So if
Ooh,
you
I
can't
wanna
make
go
it
there.
there in person, Loretta, you can
Do you
sign
know
up.
what the acronym stands for?
Especially poopy food.
Spiced ham.
Oh,
And Loretta got that one wrong a little while ago.
I did. That was a trivia question.
now
And
you
I
know.
was depressed that I got it wrong because I love
Aw.
spam more than most people that I know.
Then you can go online and sign up for a virtual tour of the
Ooh,
Spam
okay.
Museum. There you go.
Great.
What is the Italian bread traditionally enjoyed over the holidays?
panettone.
You got it.
I've been eating my share.
Yeah.
Mm. True or false? German scientists discovered that with extremely high pressure, they could turn carbon-rich peanuts into diamonds.
That's a true or false? No, it's false.
It's actually true.
Oh,
It's true. It's messy and not effective, but it's true.
Does it turn to peanut butter first and then diamonds?
That's funny. I think you have to use diamonds to put it under pressure. Your final question: what is the best-selling flavor of soup in the UK during the holidays? Would you like options?
In the UK.
In the UK.
Ooh, there's a little.
Best-selling soup
Yeah. would
in
you-
the UK. Yes, I would like options, please.
Okay. Tomato, potato leek, or chicken?
Potato leek.
It's actually tomato, followed by potato leek. So you and
You
Loretta are
beat me.
tied for 3 out of 3.
Wow, I have. This is the first time I've had an opportunity in a while.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Awesome. Okay.
Except there's a little grease spot on my jacket. I just noticed. So
The scallion pancakes are
scallion
messy.
pancake
Yeah.
grease. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1. What is the term for the French culinary technique of covering meat with strips of bacon or fat to keep it moist during cooking?
Larding.
Barding, but
Barding,
same thing. Same
yeah.
thing. Good job. True or false? One of the strangest food-related disasters was the Great Molasses Flood in Boston.
True or false?
Uh-huh.
Well, they have a lot of baked beans in Boston, so I'm going to say true.
It is true. In 1919, a storage tank containing more than 2 million gallons of
Oh my
molasses
God.
exploded. It flooded Boston streets, crushed buildings, killed 21 people, and injured 150
Oh.
more. The smell of molasses lingered for decades. That's true.
Wow. I wonder if that
Wow.
was at the Necco factory.
We could look it up. It's an interesting story. Okay, multiple choice. Pez candies were originally invented as what? As medicine, anti-smoking mints, or Christmas stocking treats?
Medicine.
It was actually anti-smoking mints. They were invented in Austria as a compressed peppermint candy to deter and be an alternative to smoking. Those original Pez dispensers actually look like old-fashioned lighters, cigarette lighters.
Ah.
Tricky. All right, number 4. True or false? Lemon slices float in water while lime slices sink. You're going to go home and try this.
I am. I'm going to try it before I go home. I'm saying true.
It is true. Limes are slightly denser than water, which is why they sink. Lemons are less dense than water, which is why they float. There you go. Okay, final question. And
I
this
was
is
going to
for,
say who knew, but you knew.
well, I researched a little bit on that one. Okay, this is your final question. This is for the win. Or
So can you tell people what it looks like in your house when you're dreaming up these trivial questions? Are you in bed with the covers up? And
oh no, I'm on the computer just laughing,
Oh,
giggling.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's,
Good.
yeah, it's
It's like
fun.
an evil laugh of like, how can
Yes,
I
yes.
trick everybody?
Exactly. Okay, we'll see if you're going to win or it's going to be a 3-way tie.
Okay.
What is the name of the herbal tea commonly enjoyed in Southern Africa that is made from the leaves known as red bush?
Robios.
Awesome. And I looked this up and I watched a video. It's actually pronounced rooibos.
Rooibos?
Rooibos. Yes.
Rooibos.
So you got 4 out of 5. That's a
I
win.
think
All
you call that a
right.
winner.
That's a
We got
winner.
the-
Ring that bell. Ring that bell.
Laura's not doing it. There we
Thank you
go.
very much. I haven't won in like months. So very excited
job.
right
Only
now.
ever since
What-
I started, you haven't been winning.
Funny. What do I win?
You win.
I get to give away
Oh,
a 3
I-
pack of spice rub to somebody in our audience from our gift shop.
That's true.
Are you going to choose them?
Yes, I'm going to choose them right now. Who didn't win anything yet? Okay, you all get a 3 pack of spice rub from our gift
Wow.
shop.
Nice.
so generous?
Because I feel bad that we have winners and losers. Now we
Yeah.
have all winners. here.
Yay.
If you want to be part of our show, you can join the community on YouTube Live at Tom Douglas & Co. or buy a ticket to join us here in the studio at hotstovesociety.com. The show is produced by Becky Guzak. Sean McFadden is our technical editor. And our talented editor at Cairo is Sean Don't Call Me Del Torre. Remember, if you miss any episode of our Hot Stove Society show on Cairo 97.3 FM, you can listen via podcast. They're all there. I looked at them yesterday.
Awesome.
Just subscribe with your favorite podcast app.
Thank you for listening.
Happy holidays. Or Hanukkah. You're in the middle of Hanukkah, right?
Last night.
Last day today.
Yep.
All right. Was that exciting? You know it was. Okay, we just have one thing to do for a minute, and then we have to get out of here so we can set the room.